total war has happened during a fourth turning, and every fourth turning has had a total war. Are we on the verge of civil unrest? According to the Strauss-Howe Generational Theory, the answer could be yes. But what exactly is it? Discover how this historical cycle could affect our society today. Are we ready for what's to come? This is Rogue Invest. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. All right, let's begin. The Strauss-Howe Generational Theory, proposed by historians William Strauss and Neil Howe, offers a fascinating perspective on the cyclical progression of history through generations. This theory suggests that history moves in recurring cycles of approximately 80 to 100 years, each of which consists of 4 distinct stages known as turnings. Each turning has its own unique characteristics and is associated with a particular generational archetype that profoundly influences events and societal behavior. William Strauss and Neil Howe, who developed this theory in the 1990s, analyzed historical patterns and found that generations tend to repeat themselves in a predictable sequence of 4 archetypes: prophets, nomads, heroes, and artists. Each of these archetypes emerges at a particular stage of the historical cycle and plays a specific role in shaping and evolving society. 4 historical cycles. The Strauss-Howe Generational Theory describes history in cycles of approximately 80 to 100 years, known as saecula, which are divided into 4 turns: peak, awakening, unraveling, and crisis. Each of these turns has distinct characteristics that shape society in unique ways, influencing historical events and collective behavior. By understanding these cycles, we can gain a clearer vision of how historical patterns develop and repeat. The first turn, high. The first turning, or high, is a period of renewal and rebuilding that follows a major crisis. Society emerges united, confident, and with a strong institutional structure. It is a time of stability, prosperity, and growth. During this time, social and political institutions are strengthened and new infrastructures are built. A historical example of a first turning is the period following World War II in the United States, known as the Gilded Age. During this time, the economy flourished. There was a baby boom, and important international institutions such as the United Nations and the International Monetary Fund were established. The second turning, awakening. The second turning, or awakening, is a time of questioning and cultural change that occurs when the institutions established during the first turning are perceived as restrictive or limiting. Society begins to seek greater spiritual and personal meaning, leading to movements of renewal and reform. This period is characterized by the struggle between conformity and individual freedom. The third turning, dissolution. This is a time of fragmentation and institutional breakdown. The reforms and changes of the second turning lead to a period of disillusionment and disunity. Trust in institutions declines, and society becomes more individualistic and cynical. This period is often marked by social conflict and tension. The fourth turning, crisis. The turning we are currently in. Every total war has happened during a fourth turning, and every fourth turning has had a total war. This is a time of destruction and renewal, when existing institutions and social structures are challenged and often dismantled. It is a time of conflict and emergency in which society must face and overcome great challenges. Crisis can take the form of war, revolution, or economic collapse. However, this period also offers the opportunity to rebuild and renew society on new foundations. A historical example of a fourth turning is the Great Depression and World War II, events that led to a profound transformation of economic, political, and social structures worldwide. As we can see today, the country is greatly divided by the radical left and radical right, but when the fourth turning is complete, only one will come out on top. According to the theory, each historical cycle culminates in a fourth turning that redefines the established order, and we are currently in one of these turnings. This period of crisis, which began around 2008 with the Great Recession, is characterized by political, economic, and social tensions that suggest the possibility of civil unrest and deep conflict. This event triggered a series of protests and social movements, such as Occupy Wall Street, which reflected widespread frustration and dissatisfaction with the economic system. In addition, the COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated social and political divisions, exposing structural inequalities and latent tensions that have led to riots and protests in various parts of the world. Rising polarization and populism. Still think that's not enough? Then where does the significant increase in political polarization and the rise of populist and nationalist movements in several countries come from? This polarization, similar to the years leading up to World War II, has contributed to an atmosphere of conflict and confrontation. Polarized elections, massive protests, and growing racial and cultural tensions in countries like the United States are clear signs that the dynamics of the fourth turning are in action. Climate crisis and natural disasters. In addition, the climate crisis and increasingly frequent natural disasters represent another battleground in this fourth turning. Like previous crises, these global challenges require coordinated and significant responses that in many cases have yet to materialize. The inability to effectively address these issues could lead to greater civil unrest and international conflict. Perhaps what is happening in the United States, particularly the attack on presidential candidate Donald Trump, is not just a coincidence. Nobody saw the Civil War coming. Suddenly it just happened. People are aware of the divide in the country, but they never expect it to escalate. What do you think about the fourth turning? Let us know in the comments section down below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. Thank you all for watching. Stay informed and unplug from the Matrix.